This next fight could easily go all 3 rounds and be one of the most exciting fights. We have Bulletproof Brad Roof making his way into the cage right now. He is a former champion of USFFC, and he's a really experienced guy. He's been on something of a losing skid lately, but every fight he comes back and he looks more motivated than the last one. He's been putting a lot of time in at Modern Warrior MMA with Keith Richardson, who's a great coach. He turns out a lot of great fighters in the area and is a great professional fighter himself. And he's also with Patrick Sweet, who's an amazing fighter as well. Those are the 2 coaches working with Brad Roof. And I'm sure he keeps coming back. He's fighting every 2 months or so, and he is more motivated than ever.
Yeah, he is a great competitor. He capitalizes well. If you make a mistake, he's going to take advantage of it. He's long. He's pretty big for the weight class. Has solid technique. He's a little bit older. He's been around the block a little bit.
Old man strength.
Yes.
And he's going to be taking on Dylan Marler, who is one of the toughest guys and most persistent fighters you will ever see.
Dylan does not like to stop.
He pushes forward in every fight. What Brad Roof is going to have to do to win this fight tonight is use his reach, stay on the outside, pick his spots, pick his punches. Because Dylan Marler's last fight, he did get rocked, and that could still be in his head. You don't know what's in somebody's head, but you use that last fight to your advantage.
Oh, every time. Every time. If you don't learn more from your losses than you do from your victories, you're beating yourself.
Dylan Marler, he's fighting out of Full Circle MMA, if I'm correct. And
yep.
He likes to push forward. He has great cardio. He's really strong. And he's really good all around. He's an endurance kind of fighter. He doesn't come forward with a lot of power, but if he hits you, it's going to hurt. And he uses that to push people back against the cage, get that takedown, and work some great ground and pound.
No, he's solid. He is a solid fighter. Like I've said, he doesn't look very physically dominating, but he is a very, very strong fighter and very impressive.
Dylan looks like he's slimmed down since the last time we saw him, actually. Looking a little more cut, a little more defined this fight.
Yeah, a little bit so. Dylan asking to touch gloves. Brad Sickles, yes.
Of course, these guys are both classy.
Fighting from Modern Warrior MMA, Rock Hill, South Carolina, Bulletproof Brad Roof. And his opponent standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. His record 3-2. He weighed in at 160.2 pounds. Fighting for Full Circle MMA, Marshall, North Carolina. Give it up for Dylan Marler. Referee Del Fry.
Right away, the reach advantage is evident. Brad's going to definitely want to use that to his advantage. Dylan's going to want to use head movement to get inside, work those takedowns. Not saying that he wouldn't trade with you. He will trade with you.
We're getting ready to see a fight here, guys.
Right away, Dylan comes pushing forward.
Lots of unorthodox striking.
Brad.
And Brad is eating lots of punches left and right. 1-2, 1-2.
Oh! And it's not just one. They're throwing great combinations here, really putting them together, mixing it up.
Brad's got Dylan against the cage right now with double overhook control. Is really jamming him. Dylan's really trying to work that knee in to create some separation and maybe even throw some more knees in and get back out. They separate.
Dylan just throws. Just throws. He's eating them and he'll still throw them.
Dylan is doing a very good job of throwing that leg kick while Brad is coming in and catching him with it every time. He's not stopping him, which is what you really want to do with that.
Oh. Powerful punches from both guys.
You can hear that leather slap in the face.
These guys have some crazy chins. Both of them are coming off losses. They have got to be super motivated right now.
That's why it's a good amateur main event. Dylan spins Brad with a double leg.
This is not where Brad wants to be. He does have great submission skills. Everyone loves a slam, but not a whole lot of damage done.
No, it's really hard to get a lot of damage in with that slam because the floor gives quite a bit, and you really have to throw him on some part of his body that's going to hurt him.
I think Brad's just trying to lock down the posture here, and I don't know if he was trying a shoulder crank or something, but it looks like he's just trying to lock him down to get maybe a stand up.
If you can actually lock that shoulder down and get it to the other side, you can open up one side of his body, so you can actually end up taking his back pretty easily. It's fairly painful too. Most people won't tap out on it, but it does lock your shoulder in a position where it's above your head and your whole side is exposed. You can't really defend yourself. Dylan's doing a good job of really keeping his hips low, though. Really smashing in through. Not really doing a typical jiu-jitsu defense, more of a catch wrestling defense of trying to hold him on his back and pin him and being okay with being in this position.
Yeah, this is definitely where Dylan wants to work his game. He's had a great TKO.
Oh, nice armbar attempt by Marler, and it might happen. Marler's doing a good job of trying to work it out, but Brad doesn't. And there's the tap, armbar.
Oh, and Brad breaks his losing skid with a beautiful armbar submission there.
And that was an excellent submission.
Yeah, Dylan really made him work for that.
He did not want to give it up.
He defended it very well. He twisted his arm while it was in Brad. Brad adjusted it while in his guard there and still whipped it out. That was wonderful.
It's always good to see an armbar finish like that, where it's not quite there and you see a little bit of a fight and then it just, you can't fight that. You don't want to break your arm.
Definitely.
Dylan is really unhappy about that one.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't suffered a loss like that where, that he was pounding away and winning. He usually wins these fights where it's a slugfest and both guys are throwing.
That happens sometimes. Sometimes you give him a little bit extra space and that spin through happens.
Yeah, but, he's the kind of guy. He learns from every loss. Like, we see him tonight here. He's lost a little bit of weight, slimmed down a little bit, looks a lot more ripped up. And I'm sure he's going to go make some adjustments, maybe drop another weight class down to 45. And the kid's got a great future ahead of him. He's really young. I believe he's only 21.
Yeah, he's fairly young. New to the sport. Who isn't new to the sport? All right, and we're getting ready to go to our pro card here after we take a 10-minute break.